Gervonta Davis beating Ryan Garcia does not make you the king at 135 or even at 140. You still got Devin Haney at 135, the undisputed champ. You got Teofimo Lopez at 140, Matatis, Rolando Romero, and then Regis Progragres. That are all champs. Rolando Romero, I don't know how Raleigh, I don't know how he gets a belt, but all this stuff right here is just set up to make easy fights for people like Gervonta Davis so they can continue to build their stock. But I refuse to call him the king of these weights. Don't get me wrong, he is a beast. Gervonta Davis, is a hard guy. He hits hard with his left. He's overcome a lot of adversity in the ring, and he's won all his fights. But beating Ryan Garcia does not make you the king. You don't even have a belt at these weight classes. And the easy one there is probably going to be, well, Raleigh, who's you already beat. But Devin Haney, as far as I'm concerned, is probably the easiest target for Gervonta Davis. I mean, Devin Haney, in my opinion, is a paper champ. He hasn't really beaten anybody credible. His last fight with Loma, many people, Oscar De La Hoya and even Nelly agreed with me and agreed with everyone else who thought that Loma won the fight. And even before the fight, I called it that Loma was going to tag him and tag him and tag him. He was going to brutalize him. The only good thing that Haney did was a counter right hand to the body, but that didn't even affect Loma, which tells me at least that he has no power, and enough power to stop a guy. I mean, Loma kept walking through those body punches, and at the end was dominating the fight. So Devin Haney is an American fighter who's getting the benefit of the benefit of matchmaking and the benefit of decisions, and that's just because he's an American fighter. YouTube creators and people in the media are calling him the king, and how can you call him the king when he doesn't have a belt in these weight classes? If you want to call yourself the king, why don't you fight Teofimo Lopez? That's a real fighter right there. He's a hardcore fighter. He throws down. He's gonna fight you to the end. Let's get a fight with that guy. I mean, I think that guy. We still got Shakur Stevenson, who's calling out Devin Haney. I don't know if they'll ever make that fight. I mean, that's a risky fight for Devin Haney, because if it's boxing skill that you want to see, then definitely Devin Haney does have boxing skill, but so does Shakur Stevenson. So I think that's a risky fight. I think Shakur Stevenson can give Gervonta Davis a run for his money. So that's another guy that we're not talking about. And until Gervonta Davis can beat those big name guys, Shakur Stevenson is fairly untested. He has had some good fights. He has all the skill, and he could be a great fighter, right? But he needs to be tested. The thing I like about him is that he's willing to be tested. I mean, he's calling out the fights, right? He's been calling out several fighters. So he wants to smoke, right? And so I respect that 100%, and I think he could back it up. So he's a dangerous guy. Teofimo Lopez is another guy that's a dangerous guy for these. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, American fighters that they get the benefit of the doubt. I mean, beating Ryan Garcia does not make you the king of that weight class. Especially it was fought at 135. And some people are talking about, some analysis and some pundits are talking about you being the king of 135, 140. I don't see that at all. I mean, I think you're a hell of a fighter, a great fighter, but you're still not really tested. You know what I mean? Again, for everyone out there, don't put too much stock into that Ryan Garcia fight. Ryan Garcia was not ready for that fight. He just hasn't been ready. Will probably never be ready for a fight like that because of who he's been fighting, how his training goes, and probably too much social media. Fighters and boxers who make a living out of this, this is what they do. This is all they do. They may have a 40-hour week job, but they're in the gym just as much as they are at work. So I don't think Ryan Garcia has that. I don't think he's ever going to have that. And I'm sorry to say that, but that's just the reality. So Gervonta Davis and everyone who calls him the king at 135, 140, I mean, you're fooling yourself. He still has about 3 or 4 guys he has to beat. and then I would consider him the king of those weight classes. But other than that, I mean, let's get away from that. Let's make fights. Let's make the best fight the best, and they'll let us know who the best is. You know, we got. Teofimo Lopez is the man to beat at 140, at 135. Gervonta Davis has nothing on him. Gervonta Davis will not fight him. Teofimo Lopez is the man. He's already moved up in weight. He dominated Josh Taylor, and he'll do that to any one of the competitors there. So if Gervonta Davis wants to be the champion and the main guy and the king that they call him at 135 and 140, he has to beat Teofimo Lopez. So we'll see what happens. But Teofimo Lopez, in my opinion, will beat his ass down and probably knock his ass out. Thank you.